look, I just want to get this out there first, just about Christian and the reasons why we rested him for this game. So, he's got a little bit of a case of athletic pubalgia that's been kind of bothering him. We brought him on the trip here to LA because he's a tough kid. And, I thought he was able to play, but, it just was a little too painful. So we decided to rest him, and we'll get further evaluation when we get back to Seattle, and we'll try and make a good decision based on what the doctors and the experts are telling us. But that was the reason for Christian's absence, because again, he's been an Iron Man for this club. He's played in a lot of big games for us, so it was unusual for us to not start the kid. So that's the reason for it. Thanks.
Thanks, Coach. Jeremiah, why don't you lead us off?
Yeah, I guess, how do you go about balancing the frustration of falling behind 2-0, settling for a tie, but while also acknowledging that, you guys had a lot of really good play in there, and that you came back from a big deficit and actually took the lead?
Yeah, you just retell the narrative of that game, Jeremiah. I mean, it's like, we gave up a couple of goals. I mean, the first goal, actually came from defending a goal kick, not just the end result, but, we didn't do what we were supposed to do defending the goal kick. They get in our half. The second goal came off of a throw-in deep in their half that we didn't defend very well, no organization. So, yeah, giving up a couple of goals, and we come in at halftime, regroup. They're all still kind of chattering in the locker room at halftime because they knew they played well. They knew they played well in spurts and moments of that first half. I thought the way the team was set up was good, and Danny had another good game, and all of that. And then you give them a ton of credit for the comeback. I mean, that shows you that our team still has fight left in them. And then you go to the end where it's another gut punch, and I can't say anything, Jeremiah. I don't have any words that can match the emotion that those guys feel. They put everything into the game and deserve 3 points. I mean, you know me, I never, ever complain about the referees. But I know you guys at Sounder Heart, you guys will, take a still shot of that penalty. And when the guy takes the penalty, there's two of their guys encroaching, but that doesn't get reviewed. So there's something for you guys to check into. But I couldn't be any prouder of the guys to dig back deep and come back against, a team that's desperate as well. The Galaxy were desperate for points too. But we came back and scored 3 goals, and that's a massive positive. Massive positive.
Jada, go ahead.
Thanks. Brian, did you get a chance to look at the handball with Arriaga, and what were your thoughts on that?
Well, look, by the letter of the law, they got it right. But the problem with the law is that if you look behind Javi when the ball hit his arm, and the ball hit his arm wasn't moving towards the ball. We had 2 defenders there. So even if the ball would have gone past Javi, or there would have been something, our guys would have cleaned it up. There was no Galaxy player behind him. So there was no real negating of the advantage, so to speak. But Jada, yes, by letter of the law, that's a handball.
Masvida.
Yep. Hey, Brian, I just want to go back to you scoring 3 goals and the positive there. That's the first time. Last time you scored 3 goals was June 25th, getting Sporting KC. What do you attribute you being goal dangerous now, and how comforting is it at this stage in the season to see your offense is backed in some way?
Well, let's pump the brakes there a little bit. It's one game, so let's see if this formation can really do what we think it can do. But Maz, it could have been 4. I mean, Jordan had a chance in the first half. He had another chance in the second half. I mean, look, his header goal offside, barely off, I mean, maybe the movement there a little bit. I mean, we could have scored. I think our expected goals is over 2.25 or something along those lines. So yeah, that is something really positive to build on. But we just have to make sure that we replicate it.
Charles Bohm.
Just to follow up on what Jeremiah asked, I know your guys will give everything that they have, but how much do they have left in the tank? How do you assess the physical and, I guess, emotional reserves left in this group after everything that you guys have been going through this season?
Well, I have complete confidence in that group of players. And then what you're going to do is you're going to get the contributions of like a Danny Leva, who's fresh. I thought Kellen accounted well for himself at left back. I thought Raul came back strong. I mean, he's basically had, he hasn't had time off because he's been on the treatment table, but, he's fresh, he's ready to go. I think there's enough freshness within the group. I'm sure you've heard this before, Charlie, but, we've tweaked our training, which I think has helped. Now for the last 3 weeks, we've reduced the volume by 30 to 40%, but increased the intensity. And I think that has really helped us. So, I'm positive that even after, what feels like another gut punch, I think we're a resilient group and I think we can come through it.
Thanks.
Felipe Makeda.
Thank you, Matt. Coach Brian, always the comebacks are very emotional. They're very important for the teams. And the team was losing 2-0, then tied the game. They were winning, they tied. How important, emotional speaking, is this game when you have another important game coming up against Portland Timbers?
Well, again, Felipe, it's the same answer I gave. I couldn't be any prouder of the group. I think the group still has fight. They're emotionally resilient. There's a bunch of strong characters in there. They didn't give up at halftime. And we, my opinion, I'm sure, it's a selfish, it's biased opinion, but I think we should have won the game. So.
And we know a little bit of what you talk about in halftime.
We'll keep that in-house, Felipe. Normally I don't, say what I say at halftime, but, again, credit to the team, credit to the players. They take the information that we as coaches give them at halftime, and they actually are the ones that do the hard work in the second half and make things happen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We have a few more hands up in the queue. Reminder, if you'd like to ask a question, please use the hand raise function. We'll go to Alonso Contreras before a couple follow-ups. Go ahead, Alonso.
Thank you, Matt. How are you, Coach? Coach, I would like to ask you if, do you think having your 3 offensive players allow LA Galaxy to attack more? And also, is Raul ready for the full 90 minutes for the next game?
Raul will be ready for the full 90 minutes next game. And no, I don't think that we subbed 3 attacking players all at the same time and the Galaxy got back into the game. I thought, could we have done a better job closing the game out? Maybe. But, I think Will can come on and, give us something, giving Josh a chance to, get his feet wet. Jimmy Medranda's a talented player. So.
Jada Evans.
Thanks. Brian, I wanted to ask, when you had mentioned the formation and how that helped y'all tonight, is that something then that you plan to use going forward? And the broadcast really quick showed Raul and he looked like he was limping, but it sounds like you feel that he's just fine after this, or are you, watching how he, I guess, responds to games?
Lineup will take on a game by game basis, Jada, and Raul's fine.
I meant formation, not lineup. Did I say lineup? I mean formation.
Oh, Jada, my apologies. I just misspoke.
Oh, okay.
The formation is going to be on a game by game basis. There were plenty of positives tonight, but how we match up against Portland, who drops off deep and, you know, cedes possession, we'll look at it. We'll look at it. But yes, that was my fault, you know.
Maz, please close us out.
Yeah, one
Oh.
quick,
Go ahead, Maz. Yeah.
yeah, one quick injury question. Jordan Morris is fine, Brian?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. And then the other,
Cramping. He worked hard.
fair enough. The last one was Danny Leyva. Just what did you see from him both on the attacking and the defensive half of the game today? He looked like he took a step up in terms of his reading of the game.
Yeah. I mean, when he plays with the amount of confidence that he's playing with now, he's a very effective player. So he's overcome some injuries. He's gotten a shot. He's gotten a chance, and he's embracing that shot at being a starter with, you know, everything that he has inside of him. And, you know, he's a great kid. He's smart. He's technical, and his reading of his positioning on the field was pretty good tonight.
Thank you.
Thank you.